Hi, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing a channeled love letter from your future spouse. And this can be somebody that you already know, somebody that you are about to meet, or somebody that is a little further away on the horizon, just whatever resonates for you. There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is this Mookaite Jasper heart, along with this letter. Group 2 is the red Jasper heart, along with this letter. And group 3 is the Picasso Jasper heart, along with this letter. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection, and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you would like to jump ahead, which I do recommend using so that you can skip over me shuffling cards in between groups to clear the energy of the group I've just read for and tap into the energy of the group I'm about to read for. So again, I'll give you a minute. Please use the timestamps and we'll get into your reading. Hi, Group 1. You chose the Mookaite Jasper heart, along with this letter, which I will read in a moment. I'm going to start with some tarot to get a feel for what's going on with this person currently. I'll go over the zodiac signs that come up, so that can be some clues as to who this person is, and then I'll finish this reading off with some initials as well. So for Group 1, what's going on with their future spouse currently? Okay, so we have the Page of Wands, 5 of Wands, the Emperor, the Chariot, the Hanged Man, and 4 of Swords. So with this Page of Wands, this is usually a card of communication, of good news. And this imagery here, we see he's got his hand to his ear and he's listening to these birds that are chirping up in a tree. So this is an indication that this person may be in some kind of phase of awakening, maybe a spiritual awakening, or uncovering some deeper layers of awakening within themselves. In some way they've heard the call. This could be somebody that is in your life currently that is maybe starting to get some signs or some recognition, is starting to get some clarity about the connection with you, about feeling very drawn to you. If this is somebody who is not in your life yet, then other factors that are occurring within their individual existence are leading them in a different direction from where they have been headed up to this point in time. So again, this idea of answering some kind of call, getting some kind of signs or signals synchronicities, maybe even angel numbers, repeating numbers that are coming up that are almost operating like a trail of breadcrumbs for this person, things that they might have been kind of oblivious to, closed off to, didn't pay much mind to. They're now starting to associate greater significance with that. They're starting to dig a little deeper within that. They're starting to kind of navigate their path very consciously, making their own decisions, retaining that energy of autonomy with this Wands energy here, but at the same time, really starting to deepen their communication with spirit, starting to recognize kind of a larger component of how they are co-creating their reality with spirit. This idea of kind of thoughts becoming things, and really taking some time to, again, heed that call of their heart. Listen to this yearning that they have for change, for something different from what they have been doing, from whatever it is that they surround themselves with. With the Five of Wands, this is definitely an energy of conflict. So if this is somebody that is currently in your life, they could be in this sort of this back and forth energy, feeling very pulled towards you, getting a lot of signs that this connection is very significant, that there's a greater purpose or something more to be experienced than you currently have going on in this dynamic. And as much as they are recognizing that, they're acknowledging that, there's still a part of them that is very resistant to that change. As we see here on this card, and they're fighting with these sticks, but there's a hornet's nest above this kind of scene of conflict and chaos. This idea as well that 4 of these individuals are blindfolded. They're just kind of swinging without really knowing kind of where that action is going to lead to, kind of this energy of being kind of careless or impulsive. But then there's this figure here sort of standing back, seeing things clearly. This is that energy of kind of that reservation, sort of taking the wider scope of things. Somebody who really wants to do things right, who really wants to approach this situation very delicately, so as to kind of optimize the potential between the both of you, if this is somebody in your life currently. If this is someone that is soon to come into your life or is still kind of on the horizon, then this is the energy of somebody who may have just kind of been moving blindly through their life, not really paying much attention to kind of the idea of cause and effect. Somebody who may have really been used to projecting blame, kind of a reactionary energy, and they're moving into this stance of response. They're moving into this stance of being more mindful of kind of the choices that they've made, the people that they surround themselves with. This can be somebody also, whether it's someone in your life or soon to come into your life or a little further on the horizon. They're taking a step back from maybe some kind of toxic patterns within themselves, relationships and dynamics in their life that are kind of fraught with chaos, where there's a lot of push-pull, a lot of back and forth, a lot of friction. This is somebody who is starting to kind of choose that road of peace, choosing that road of kind of the peace within themselves. Somebody who is, maybe accustomed to sort of turmoil or has associated love with struggle in the past, that is starting to, want to kind of move away from that energy of struggle. Somebody who's desiring kind of an easy love, something that, challenges them to step into that best version of self, challenges them to keep growing, but not a situation that's really going to erode them, or where they may feel that they always need to kind of be on the defensive or keep parts of themselves kind of hidden or reserved. With the Emperor here, this is, again, maybe somebody who is still kind of operating in a little bit of pride and ego, kind of resisting that call to open their heart to move forward in this connection. This can also really talk about somebody who's taking their power back, who is no longer willing to participate in sort of circumstances of conflict, somebody who's even wanting to and taking steps to move out of this energy of inner conflict within themselves, self-doubt, self-deprecation. Somebody who's starting to really recognize their worth and their value, somebody who's starting to really own their personal truth and step into that, to use their voice to stake their claim in the world, as opposed to being kind of moved and maneuvered by the whims of others. With the Chariot here, this is a card of action and of momentum, and this really speaks to, again, with this idea here of it's this chariot that's kind of above the earth, that's being sort of driven by this celestial force. So this is the idea of kind of divine intervention coming in, or again, signs that this person is receiving, almost these little breadcrumbs, or these clues, these little fireflies that are appearing for them, that are kind of illuminating their next path in life, which could bring them closer to you. Maybe the two of you are at some kind of geographic distance and other things are happening in their life to really close that gap between you, or there's this desire that is culminating within this person to kind of move out of some circumstances, maybe even move out of kind of a toxic environment, a living situation, or even just a mindset that they have been in to sort of transcend this. And this can also really talk about, if this is somebody who's currently in your life, again, this overwhelming desire that they have to move closer into this connection. But again, being kind of in that conflict energy of not fully trusting in that, recognizing that call, wanting to answer that call, but not necessarily prepared just yet to take that step forward. With the Hanged Man and also Four of Swords, these are both cards of kind of rest and contemplation. In some way, this person may feel that their hands are tied. Maybe it's some kind of a domestic situation that they are in, some kind of a contract or an obligation, maybe even something to do with their profession, where they have all these responsibilities. They have constructed a life for themselves where, many moving parts, many things that are very interdependent. And as much as they may want to rush towards this connection, there are certain other factors that need to play out first. This can even relate to, again, that idea of geographic distance, that it's not so easy to just run to you. It's not so easy to just move into this connection, that there's logistics that have to be sort of figured out and sorted out. But sort of in this liminal space between desire and action, there is a lot of contemplation that is taking place. As much as there may be this energy of resistance as well, where they're kind of at a standstill. They're hesitating or are unable to take a next step at this point in time. There's a lot gestating in this period. There's wisdom that's coming in. There's insight that's coming in. This person also with this idea here of this Four of Swords, and he's laying there in kind of this meditative stance. And there's these wolves around, and this really speaks to kind of fear, this perception of danger, kind of that fear of the unknown, or moving beyond the comfort zone of whatever this person had kind of determined for themselves is their path in life, or maybe a life they had constructed for themselves, that they are awakening to the reality that there's much more out there, that they've grown into a place where what was once satisfying and very acceptable for them, that they're kind of moving beyond that. There's this thirst for more, but it is going to require moving beyond kind of these barriers of fear, maybe fear of opening up their heart to love, fear of opening up to this connection, or if this is someone who's not already in your life at this point in time, if they're still making their way to you, then these are again kind of it's this fear of change that this person is needing to really navigate through. And so in this period where not a lot is happening, where they're just really sitting with this, really taking this time to become more aware of kind of their position within their environment, that this is a very necessary period where, again, kind of truth and clarity comes through, courage is summoned, a plan is being made. This person, again, with this idea of really being receptive to signs, they're seeing these things, they are registering these things. These things are adding up. They're almost taking inventory or taking note of these things. This is somebody who, it's almost an energy of somebody who in general, may want to be very deliberate in their actions in this. Somebody who, has perhaps worked to a certain degree to attain a position of stability within themselves, stability within their material environment. And so to shake that up, to change that, and to kind of turn the page on that, there's this desire to avoid potential pitfalls, or to avoid potential pain and agony that might be unnecessary for themselves or even other people that are kind of involved in the situation, or sort of beholden to this person currently. And so there's a degree of tact that might need to be employed with this. And so if this is, again, somebody in your life currently, or somebody who's still kind of navigating their way into your reality, that in this sort of quiet time, or this space between kind of a next major step being taken, there is a lot happening behind the scenes. While it may seem that, things are very still, or maybe this person is, still trying to kind of fight off these feelings, they're not really making much known in the material sense, or they're not turning up in your material reality. You haven't met this person yet, for example. These cards all indicate that, you know, there are, again, kind of forces outside of both of your control. There's a lot happening internally within this person that is kind of recalibrating them and realigning them. Almost this idea of awakening or strengthening some core part of themselves to be able to have that very decisive and confident ability to move away from what no longer serves them, to kind of put an end to that past version of themselves, or whatever they had, you know, kind of constructed for themselves as a life that either, you know, was an ill fit to begin with, or which they themselves have grown beyond, and the past is, and what they have, you know, cultivated for themselves no longer serves who they have become and who they are continuing to develop into. So progress being made in a very subtle way in this dynamic, or the kind of the budding potential of this dynamic currently. So in terms of signs with the wands, we have fire energy, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The Emperor is Aries. The Chariot is Cancer. The Hanged Man is, gosh, why can't I think of this? Pisces. And then swords, we have air energy, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So I'm going to read the channeled love letter from your future spouse now, group 1. See what they want you to know from their higher self. I have dreamed of you since I was a child. You have been my constant in this ever-changing world. In my moments of darkness and isolation, you come to me as a whispered embrace, and I am filled with the certainty that I am not truly alone in this carnival of life. I have wandered the empty streets of night, seeking signs of your light. I have driven aimlessly and have been cast out from gardens that were never mine to keep. I have had suggestions, signs of your presence manifest as loving flesh, that as the years go by, I am able to retrace and decipher with fresh perspective. There are times of doubt when I feel myself broken beyond repair. I think, how could anyone find meaning and value in all these shards I hold? Like an instinct, I feel you like honey, loving your way across the distance and the tattered remains I am so tired of looking at. You soothe my howling wounds with your sweet and steady presence. You make me feel that it is okay to hurt. You give me permission to be well. Whatever I may have known love to be until now is being transmuted by your patience and your presence. Even while I am seeking redemption from all the ways I am not yet prepared to fully love myself just yet. So I'm going to close this reading for you, group 1, with some initials. This can be first, middle, or last name of you, this person, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got N, E, P, M, A, G, W, V, I, and B. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter, group 1. I hope that the messages resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the red Jasper heart, along with this letter, which I will read in a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get kind of a feel for what's going on in this person's life currently, some zodiac signs that can be kind of a clue about who they are, and then I'll finish up the reading with some initials as well. So for group 2, what's going on with their future spouse? Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords, Page of Pentacles, the Hierophant, Five of Wands, Eight of Wands, and Eight of Cups. So with the Ace of Swords, if this is somebody who is currently in your life, they are getting a lot of downloads about this connection, about you. A lot of truth and clarity is coming to them. They could be reflecting a lot about the times that you spend together, things that you've talked about, or even just kind of the energetic exchange between the both of you. They're starting to decipher this connection in you is very different from people that they have dealt with previously. You're starting to really open this person up to different facets and aspects of themselves. It's almost like seeing a different aspect of themselves through your eyes. With this kind of energy here of this fiery wolf, on this card, this can really indicate some struggles that this person is going through right now, a lot of difficulties, a lot of things that are kind of seeking to move away from them, away from their experience. Or this can even talk about somebody who's starting to become more assertive in speaking their truth. Maybe somebody who had kind of been accustomed to a little bit of almost kind of people-pleasing behavior, or really just trying to kind of dilute themselves down in order to be more agreeable to others, to make themselves fit into some kind of environment. But even through the kind of by virtue of the energetic exchange between the both of you, or in some way something that you inspire within this person, this spark within this person that is causing them to really step into their truth and start to use their voice to advocate for themselves more. Things they may have been tolerating in the past that they are no longer willing to sort of put up with and deal with this idea of the swords, and again, kind of cutting away from things, even perceptions of who they are, belief systems they have about themselves that no longer fit, no longer serve, because they're starting to see themselves through the eyes of love, through you. If this is somebody who you haven't met yet, that is maybe soon to come into your orbit or is a little further on the horizon, then this can really talk to, again, kind of this process of shedding that is going on in their life currently, kind of breaking away from habits, patterns, and belief systems, maybe cutting off sort of ties with kind of toxic or distorted relationships or people, even kind of job situations, or, belief systems, self-belief systems. Just in some way, this person is almost in this process of liberating themselves from some kind of limitations, self-imposed or imposed upon them and kind of projected upon them by others, that is sort of freeing them up energetically and also in tangible ways to be able to have that momentum, to be able to make shifts in their life that will bring the two of you closer into proximity of that point of intersection. With the Page of Pentacles, this is again somebody who's starting to maybe get some truth and clarity about who you are, the significance of this connection, how the way that they feel around you, are kind of the side of this person that you bring out that others, may not have been able to really access or tap into, or that they hadn't felt really comfortable kind of revealing in the past, that this is creating this sense of certainty within them. this desire to move closer towards you, this desire to make some kind of an offer, to in some way, provide you with some kind of reassurance, some kind of appreciation, some kind of recognition that they see you, they appreciate you, you are an important person or force in their life. This can also be somebody who, if this is someone you're already in a relationship with, and they are, really getting to that point of wanting to take things to the next level in whatever way that resonates with you. They're thinking about this, but it's still with that energy of the page. It's kind of at that kind of newly formed phase. There's some kind of certainty that is being reached, but it still needs some time to kind of grow and to mature and ripen. This can also, if this is someone who's not in your life currently, this again talks about this idea of taking control of their own life, taking control of their own destiny, becoming very certain about kind of what they want for themselves in the future, and how that may or may not be different from what they are currently experiencing. With this energy of pentacles, this earthly energy, this can talk about maybe changes in geography, wanting to move somewhere, or even can talk about, relationships that they have in the material world. This can talk about things that they are doing for a living, people that they are surrounding themselves with, lifestyles and practices that they are participating in. And this feels like somebody who also, with this imagery here of this dog kind of digging in the background and unearthing these bones, that this person is really in this process of kind of sifting through belief systems, taking inventory of their life, what is in their life, what kind of energies and things, people, places, and things they are entertaining, getting really to the root of that to determine what truly resonates with them, what is truly something they want to bring forward into the future, and what is just maybe best left kind of behind, or needs to be kind of put to rest or put to bed. The idea of the Hierophant here, this again really talks about traditions, belief systems, maybe even kind of a view that this person has had on love and connection and relationships, that either this situation with you challenges that. It calls all of that into question. Something, even just energetically between the both of you, there's almost this catalyzing energy that takes place when you interact with one another, that kind of in the time then when you are separated, when you go your own separate ways, the conversation's over, or you just go back about through your day, that sort of this alchemical process is happening, where the ways in which you affect one another, that this person has been affected by you, it is really kind of in that quiet time, it's causing them to really question a lot of things, question, who they are, starting to see themselves from fresh eyes, and really, seeing kind of the life they have built for themselves, or what they have come to know as true and reliable, and something that they are wanting to invest in any myriad of ways, to kind of maybe see that from fresh eyes, and starting to really kind of dismantle these things, to keep these kind of grains of truth, and a lot of things that they are in this process of maybe entertaining the possibility of moving beyond, or just kind of expanding their understanding, expanding their definitions. Maybe somebody who with this earth energy is just kind of a very determined, very kind of a stubborn person, very fixed in their ways, somebody who has created tradition within themselves, maybe practices, belief systems, habits, or routines that they stick to. And there's a flexibility that's starting to happen there. There's this desire to kind of branch out from that, to expand that horizon, to let go of that yoke they have placed upon themselves in some way, because even just energetically, they're being transformed by this. If this is somebody who is not in your life, this really kind of ties into work you've been doing on yourself to discover yourself, to move toward your purpose in this life, to move toward abundance, this abundance mindset, this self-love that you have been practicing, the ways in which you have really picked apart any self-deception that may have been going on in your life, things that you are cutting away from or moving away from, belief systems, people, places, and things. And kind of your energetic bond with this person, even if this is someone you've not met yet. It's almost like the changes you make are reverberating to this person. In a way, you're very much kind of in this energy of parallel paths, that in your own significant and individual way, you're in this, both kind of in this process of transmutation. And by doing that individually, you're kind of bringing each other one step closer to aligning as you're stepping out of that energy of kind of an expired lifestyle, a skin that you have outgrown, something that you've kind of matured beyond, some kind of phases or cycles that, have come to a point of completion. You've come full circle with these things, and as you embark on that next kind of level of your journeys individually, it again brings you into greater proximity with one another. With the Five of Wands, this is an energy of conflict. So again, this can talk about maybe some toxic patterns, relationships, or belief systems that this person is in the process of really seeing with fresh eyes, a desire to move out of this energy of friction and more into the energy of peace. Something that, there may be some resistance on this person's part to break away from just some parts of themselves, or even kind of a long-standing lifestyle, something that they've built for themselves, something they've really been adhering to, that has been their rock, it has been their stronghold, it has been their inspiration, it has been their truth for so long, that although they are feeling, this call to grow, although, things around them might be kind of heightening in terms of conflict, that the more this person elevates in vibration, either through their interactions with you, or again, kind of remotely, through the work that you're doing individually, and how this is kind of transferring to that person and kind of creating that growth within them as well, that it could again be sort of stirring up this conflict among others and in their environment, who had become accustomed or who were part of that kind of outdated version of this person that they are growing beyond. So it's this energy of friction as things, almost this idea of tectonic plates kind of scraping against one another, and sort of the vibration, or the turmoil that creates. But sort of embedded within that is that idea of movement. It is that idea of shift. A very necessary shift that is needing to take place, a new cycle that this person is really entering into. Again, this point of preparation where they're ready to kind of take things to the next level with you, or if this is someone you haven't met, these shifts and changes in their life that is kind of propelling them onto that next sort of timeline or phase of their life, to where the two of you then come into greater proximity for alignment. With this Eight of Wands, this can kind of tie in with that energy of Ace of Swords, of sort of signs, synchronicities, indications that they are getting that are really sort of pointing the way forward for them in their life in a lot of ways, and also providing them, if this is someone that you currently know, about some kind of significance or relevance as far as who you are and what this connection is. This can also really, as a card of communication, tie in with this energy here of this kind of fiery wolf, of this person starting to really stand in their power, starting to advocate for themselves, starting to set boundaries and barriers, or speak their truth where maybe they kept silent in order to just kind of keep the peace. Somebody who's starting to also become very clear within themselves, communicate with themselves, search within themselves. What do they want? What really resonates with them? How is the circumstances that they find themselves in, the life that they've built, belief systems that they hold, how is this serving that larger goal or holding that back? And we also have the Eight of Cups here, which is a card of moving on. So again, that energy of things kind of falling away from this person's life, maybe even moving beyond barriers of fear, barriers of resistance, kind of a rigidity within themselves, a particular kind of belief or idea about what love and partnership should look like, about the life that they imagined for themselves, even the views that they have of themselves that then kind of rippled out into the life that they had manifested, people they had surrounded themselves with. This is somebody who is kind of entering into this place of desiring peace, no longer wanting to kind of live a watered down life, no longer wanting to live as kind of this contained version of this this roaring flame that exists within themselves. This brings to mind this idea of somebody who's almost felt themselves like lightning in a bottle, or kind of a candle that is sort of encased in glass, like in a bell jar. And this person has just kind of been silently glowing from within, but not in some way really expressing their full potential of who they are or who they want to become. And so this transitional period that is happening right now, where they're almost breaking free from their own captivity in some way, starting to recognize that they have this ability to change their circumstances at any time, no matter where they find themselves in life, that there's always the opportunity to kind of choose a different path. To make the changes that they desire. This idea that, change without starts with change within. It starts with that honoring of one's personal truth. And then, being courageous enough to sort of follow that through with kind of eliminating or setting just a firm kind of commitment to stand in authenticity, so that what doesn't fit with that, what doesn't resonate with that, what can't go forward with that truth kind of just naturally falls away or is kind of moved beyond. So a lot of changes and transitions happening within this person, a lot of internal turmoil as well. If this is somebody that that's in your life currently, they're kind of on this brink of wanting to take things to the next level in this connection, in their life, in order to kind of better facilitate this connection. But there's still some kind of hesitation on how to do that, or kind of this idea of a lot of walls that need to come down, a lot of moving parts that need to kind of be sort of discontinued. If this is somebody who's not in your life, and this is again a lot of change that's happening within their world and within themselves that is aligning them to a closer proximity to you. This is somebody who's entering into a new kind of phase or stage that energetically will bring them closer, physically will bring the two of you closer. Kind of this idea of evolution, one stage ending, as kind of this person maybe existing as sort of a remote possibility, and now they are appearing on your horizon. So I'm going to read the love letter from their higher self and see, what do they want you to know, group 2. I feel you nearing my orbit. I catch flashes of you from the corner of my eye. I sense a new component to my heartbeat. 2 voices speaking now as one. I am filled with a sense of anticipation that both drives me forward and holds me at bay. I cannot bear to have you and hold you and call you my own, only to have you washed away. I hide my face from you. I can't let you see my shame and regret. Somehow I know you are a haven I have never known before. Your invitation to enter, so different from all the rest. You are a vista atop a mountain I must climb, away from my own complacency, into the light. You show me wings I had quite forgotten. I want so much to believe this is real. You're so strong. You sense my resistance, and with a smile and open arms, hold fast as the doorway I have always been intended to enter and to remember within me. Your presence challenges me. I have never wanted anything so much. My soul stirs to life, and I am finally animate in ways that were dormant and forlorn previously. You mark a new epoch and are the one I have been waiting for. You are my prophecy revealed, and I am taking steps to finally reach you. So I'm going to get some initials now. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got P, X, D, A, F, H, N, T, and O. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter, group 2. Oh, and before I forget, I didn't read off the zodiac signs for you. With swords, we have air energy, which is Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. With pentacles, that is earth energy, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. The Hierophant is Taurus. With the wands, we have fire energy, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And cups is Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So again, those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter group 2. I hope that the messages resonated with you and that you enjoyed the video. If you like the reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the Picasso Jasper. And this is your channeled love letter from your future spouse, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with some tarot to get kind of an idea about what's going on with this person currently, some zodiac signs to maybe get some clues about who they are for Group 3. Okay, so we have the Knight of Wands, Two of Swords, Eight of Swords, the Fool, Knight of Cups, and Strength. So if this is somebody who you currently know, maybe you're in a relationship with, or it's just somebody who's in your life with this Knight of Wands, they have a lot of attraction for you. They're very drawn to you, very magnetized towards you. There could be a lot of palpable chemistry between the both of you that with this Two of Swords and Eight of Swords, it's being held back on somehow. It's not being spoken, or this person is really trying to keep this to themselves, maybe giving little innuendos or suggestions, perhaps things slipping sometimes when they don't really intend them to. But beyond all of that, beyond this kind of this silence and what is not spoken, again, this very palpable chemistry between the both of you, very drawn to one another, very magnetized to one another. Spending time with one another really uplifts the two of you energetically, even if it's just in a very kind of mundane and casual way, that there's something that almost the two of you come to life in each other's presence. The influence that you two have over each other, it's a very positive influence. It's a very uplifting influence. It's a very empowering influence. You help this person to really see themselves in a light they don't normally see. You help this person to recognize a courage as well as a tenderness within themselves with this Knight of Cups. You're starting to really help this person understand that there is strength and vulnerability, that maybe parts of themselves that they have kind of hidden away from others or been kind of ashamed to show, that come out kind of inadvertently in your interactions, or even just the way that you two really perceive and kind of move through each other's energy. It's something where they may be accustomed to, again, kind of having to hide or kind of wear some kind of a mask, or to keep kind of a distance or a wall up with other people. Maybe this person could be, have a very intense side to themselves that others really can't handle, or have kind of caused them to have a little bit of shame about, or have really kind of criticized, or have, maybe told them that they're a little too much, they're a little too intense. And so they've kind of developed this mechanism of sort of trying to keep themselves at bay. But somehow this truth, this authenticity within this person is just kind of unleashed. This is somebody who feels very confident in your presence. Again, this idea of very empowered. There's a sense of the two of you with this Strength card really balancing each other out, in terms of, a lot of similarities between the two of you, but also the differences that you have somehow being very complementary. There's a flow that occurs within this, where again, there's this very palpable chemistry between the two of you, but then there's also this very practical kind of connection between the two of you. So this is not just an energy of kind of lust and desire, but this is almost an energy of being really invigorated, really touched on multiple levels, intellectually, physically, spiritually, emotionally, in all these kind of different ways, psychically, psychologically, that there's a lot of symbiosis here. That the more that, this person spends time with you, that they're starting to really start to kind of accept and love themselves in aspects that, again, they've really kind of tried to keep hidden from others. Maybe some shadow aspects that, you know, they've operated out of this energy of fear, of trying to kind of keep these things really reserved out of, you know, kind of the necessity of not wanting to push people away or overwhelm people with that kind of intensity. There could, to a certain degree, also be kind of a wall that this person puts up, again, trying not to show you kind of some of that shadowy face, or what they have come to perceive or have been made to believe by others is a shadow aspect of themselves. Kind of this interior landscape that has just been theirs, but that there's been this yearning to have somebody that could really meet them at that level, have someone to really see and witness and partake of kind of the fullness of who they are, and to not run from that, but somebody who, you know, even just energetically feeling into that is still very excited to take that leap, still wants to move forward, which could be something that, again, they're very unaccustomed to in their life, needing to put up these walls and barriers because at a certain point it just becomes too much for people, too intense, or somebody who could also be very deeply emotional, and it may come across as you know, just to people who are kind of operating out of this energy of distortion within themselves, that almost this overwhelming fountain of love within this person has kind of been mishandled by others, or it's this idea of the light within this person really triggering other people's kind of demons or darkness. This could be, you know, really how they've been accustomed to moving through life, and again, dealing with a lot of wounded or kind of toxic or distorted people who are kind of standing in that aspect of themselves, to where, you know, that light within this person was almost kind of shunned, or they were made to feel bad about it somehow, and so they've kind of cloistered that within themselves. But with you in this connection, there's this it's almost this breath of fresh air that is breathing life back into something that may have been an ember within them that is now becoming you know, a flame. It's that flame that's rising, it's that inner flame, it's this flame of kind of illumination, a lot becoming illuminated for this person as well. Things that they may not be wanting to really see and recognize, that nevertheless are really coming to the forefront. Somebody who may be kind of resisting or trying to push away their feelings, but nevertheless they are being affected, they are being kind of alchemized from within, and it's, you know, something that can then kind of translate into kind of letting these walls, letting these barriers down. If this is someone you're dealing with currently, you may be starting to notice that they're becoming a little more open with you, a little less guarded, kind of these swords of resistance. They're starting to put these down, they're starting to kind of turn their back on that element of fear, and open their heart more, expose more of their true self, more of their well-rounded self, as opposed to just kind of putting that best foot forward, or kind of leading from just that place of kind of a mask or artificiality, that they're starting to, again, kind of show you all sides of themselves. If this is somebody who is not in your life currently, then this is a process that is taking place within them. This could be somebody who has really been kind of operating, again, in this energy of sort of fear, feeling very trapped, feeling that they could not be their authentic self, they could not express their authenticity. They may have a lot of kind of creative fire within them that they've been sort of stifling or stuffing down. This could be a very creative person in general, that maybe they weren't really supported in that kind of inclination, they weren't really encouraged, or you know, they faced a lot of ridicule, a lot of judgment or misunderstanding, and so it's a part of themselves that they've just kind of put away. They put that on the shelf, maybe with this sword's energy, kind of going and seeking a more practical approach to their life, a more logical approach to life. Somebody who may have really at one point in time been accused of someone who kind of just had their head in the clouds, and was really encouraged to sort of come back down to earth, to do things practically, to make a solid plan. Somebody whose dreams were kind of squashed by others who didn't necessarily understand that vision, who didn't necessarily understand that capacity or that potential within this person, or again, this idea of this person's light really irritating others' kind of demons or shadows. So this person, again, this creative fire, this could be an artistic person who was surrounded by a lot of people, or just encountered a lot of people who didn't embrace or understand that creative fire within themselves. almost out of jealousy, or again, misunderstanding, or kind of from that perspective of wounding. People whose own dreams did not come to fruition, then seeking to kind of extinguish this person's dreams. And so they allowed themselves, they kind of built this sort of prison for themselves around that, of this yearning, this desire, this path that they had wanted to move down, that through life circumstances or in other factors didn't come to fruition. So they've kind of constructed for themselves sort of a blocked off and a guarded existence, that there's still this rich kind of terrain. And in these cards here, there's all these different terrains here. We've got kind of a mountain forest in the autumn, and then we've got this, this snowy mountain landscapes here, and all this fire, and kind of an ocean scenery, a river, and kind of these islands and these volcanoes, just all these different creative components, all these different things that this person, has wanted to accomplish, dreams that they had for themselves that just had not come to fruition. And so again, this idea of kind of wanting to pull their head out of the clouds, so to speak, and just kind of focus on something attainable, practical, tangible. But that they're now in this process, even through the ways in which you are energetically connected to this person remotely, if this is someone you've not met yet, or someone that you're dealing with currently, the ways in which you are tapping into that creativity within you, the ways in which you are resurrecting dreams you had deferred, that you are seeking, to express yourself, to tap into these emotions, in whatever way that resonates for you. Maybe your art is something to do with music, or your art has to do with cooking, or your art has to do with painting, or some kind of other visual art or dance, just whatever kind of movement and flow that in some way you are able to express. It could even be with writing or poetry, so express with words or without words, kind of this flame within you, this fire within you, this voice within you that kind of seeks an outlet. The ways in which you are doing that within your own life, it is being energetically transferred to this person, and it is helping them to kind of bring a part of themselves out from hiding. It is helping them to maybe revisit some of these dreams or some of these interests that they haven't pursued in quite some time. This is somebody who's starting to get into that energy of becoming hopeful, becoming excited, kind of moving into this state of a beginner's mind, moving into a state where they almost believe in magic again, or they believe that they have this ability to create a different set of circumstances for themselves, that the world is their canvas, and it really it requires kind of tapping into that kind of faith and that innocence within themselves, to allow kind of this element of them to be brought from the inside out. And so through this process, again, maybe things you're doing within your life is really helping this person to get that motivation, get that spark going, get these wheels turning. This mechanism within them that's kind of been shut down, that's kind of been shut off, is now sort of starting to kind of grind to life once again, and it may be coming out in subtle ways. Again, this person picking up a paintbrush or a pen or an instrument for the first time in a while, but it's an important process of kind of freeing themselves, unleashing themselves from fears that, whether they are in your life or somebody who you still haven't met at this point in time, that expression, that creativity is bringing you into closer proximity. It is in some way, by making these expressions known and manifest, it is creating it's a different energy that you are emitting. It's a different vibration. It's a different frequency. That, things that don't really support that are not in resonance with that are not of that vibration of kind of truth and creation, creativity, are sort of falling away, or kind of moving away. Sort of as the light grows within you, these shadows are kind of dissipating. So there could be some resistance that's going on, people that are not really understanding, not really liking this change within this person, that may have become very accustomed to them, operating from a limited space, kind of having all of this, with this bowl here, all this untapped potential within them. And as they are unleashing this, as they are kind of letting this very primordial part of themselves, this creative dynamic force, as they are letting this out, as they are unleashing this, it's toppling the expectations or the views that others have had of this person. So kind of a period of transition, a period of great change and growth, within this person that is helping to, again, kind of bring the two of you closer to that point of intersection where you are able to kind of meet each other and link up with each other and move forward with each other out of this energy of kind of authenticity, with both of your lights burning very bright and very strong, kind of this energy of self-deception having been discarded, and the truth of who you are, the sun within you shining unapologetically and regardless of who understands that. So a connection that, again, if this is someone in your life or someone that is still just kind of you're energetically connected to but you haven't met in the physical realm, the two of you are really inspiring each other. You're really helping to uplift each other. You're really helping to be that motivation for one another, to kind of let down your guard, to discard the perceptions and the images of what other people told you that you are, who you should be, that you've come to adopt for yourself as kind of the right and proper way to express yourself. It's this idea of, this flame within you, no longer containing that, allowing that to burn bright, allowing that to be seen and to be known in a more profound way. And through that truth and authenticity, coming closer to that point of actualizing the connection between the both of you, which is meant to be something that is, it's two candles that are burning bright. It's two flames that are actualized, that are out there, that are, just unapologetic. And so the personal alchemy, again, kind of alchemizing and collapsing timelines and circumstances that keep the two of you at a distance in order to, again, kind of create that unity within, so that unity then in an outside sense, in a material sense, in a physical way, can be possible and optimal for the both of you. So I'm going to read the channeled love letter from your person now, group 3. But before I do, in terms of signs with wands, we have fire energy, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Swords is air, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. The Fool is Aries. Cups is water energy, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. And Leo is strength. So let's see, what does your person want you to know from their higher self? Or what is your person or your future spouse, what do they want you to know from their higher self, group 3? Time is like molasses, and we are slow dancing through the ages. How long has it been since I last touched you? I feel roused from a deep and crippling sleep, unaware until this very moment that I have spent so long dreaming. Like a deluge, scenes and memories of us flood forth. I have no choice but to be tossed through an eternity of love and loss my soul has stored vigilantly and for this very moment. So much of what I feel and perceive in conjunction with you is a mystery. But I know that within this confusion is the key to what we are to become together. You are so familiar to me. I have known you forever. In you, I taste eternity and realize my place in this grand context. Quite without meaning to, you have cleansed my perceptions, and I wonder, do you see as I see now, too? Or has it always been your sight, those eyes that look beyond the illusion of the dream, straight into the abyss and the truth, that have been seeking my grasping of reality as the missing link through which we both become whole? I am burning. You provide me with the respite of shade. When all around me the night sky falls, you are the single point of starlight on my horizon. As I know you, I know myself. I see you clearly now, and I am shifting beyond duality to the place where you live. So I'm going to get some initials now. This can be first, middle, or last name of you or this person, or it can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got T, G, K, H, V, C, B, I, D, and U. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter group 3. I hope that they resonated with you and that the messages resonated with you and that you enjoyed the video. If you like the reading, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link in the description box of the video for that. I also sell handmade jewelry in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking that out as well. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.